The Great Hanoi Rat Massacre was an event in 1902 when the French colonial government created a doctrine whereby people would be rewarded for each rat they killed. For proof, they had to share the tails of the rats that they so mercilessly murdered. Later, the government actually saw that there were a lot of rats with no tails. It was then that they realized that the rat catchers just cut the tails, left the rats, and took payment. This economic theory of perverse incentive gets its name from something that happened in India, and it's named after a living creature. So, I need you guys to tell me what name is given to this particular economic theory. That is our audience question for today's episode, courtesy of Udayon Sen. It's a fantastic question. I'm leaving it to the audience. You can guess the answer by the end of today's episode. So, welcome to episode number 117 of Are You Quizzing Me?
Welcome to Are You Quizzing Me? I am Vineet Nair with my co-host Aditya Kashyap. This is a quizzing trivia podcast show. Join us as we dive deep into history, science, pop culture, and so much more. Let's get quizzing.
And I'm back after a break due to, let's just say, unavoidable circumstances. Aditya has been holding the fort more often than not nowadays. It seems like Aditya is holding the fort and I'm a little absent, but I'm back. So let's start off today's episode. Aditya, you have the privilege of going first.
Perfect. Well, firstly, welcome back. I am happy to have you back.
Yes, thank you.
It has been fun recording with our guest quizmasters, but nothing like good old Vineet on the podcast, cracking questions left, right, center. And also, before I start, and thank you for doing a question that was suggested by a listener, because a bunch of listeners have reached out. Some of them have sent in questions. And as always, really, really deepest gratitude for doing that. It's always lovely to hear from you. And I will be including those questions in future episodes. For this episode, I already had my set of questions.
Yes.
And that brings me to my question. This first one is actually my favorite of the lot. So I thought I'll start on a high.
Nice.
There was a product launched by IKEA Hong Kong, limited edition, as a collaboration with another brand.
Mm-hmm.
The name of this product was Sava. And the first A has the two dots on top. I don't know what it's called. The umlaut?
I think it's called umlaut.
Yeah. So Sava was a product launched by IKEA Hong Kong, limited edition, as a promotion in collaboration with another brand. Do you know what this product was about?
I have no clue. IKEA Hong Kong. Sava sounds Nordish, which makes sense since it's IKEA. What reminds me of one of those techie app names, you know? Isn't there a running app called Strava or something?
There is a Strava app. But this has nothing to do with that. In fact, the name is a clue. But before we get to that, let me describe it a little bit to you. It is a table and it has 3 legs on it.
And there's something special about this.
I guess what I'm asking is, what is Sava referencing? And what is the brand that they were collaborating with?
So they were collaborating, I'm guessing, with Domino's Pizza?
Oh, come on. That is...
The 3 legs gave it away. The pizza separator that you see on Domino's pizzas, or actually a lot of pizza brands.
Not called a separator. It's called a pizza saver.
Pizza saver. Okay, yeah.
And that's where the name Sava comes. Saver, Sava.
Oh, saver, Sava. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this was a collaboration. You are correct.
Nice.
With actually Pizza Hut, not Domino's Pizza, but yes, it was a pizza brand.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll give that to you. And that the tiny white table that you see inside a pizza box that is meant to save the top of the pizza from the bottom of the lid of the box making contact, and they made an actual life-size version of that table, and it was meant to be something that you would eat a pizza on. So Sava was a limited edition product from IKEA Hong Kong, and for their part, Pizza Hut created a special Swedish meatball flavored pizza. Yeah, I don't know how great that would have been, but I guess IKEA Swedish meatballs. What else could Pizza Hut have done? What other collaboration could a pizza have done?
True. Especially if they're going with IKEA, I don't think they have any other option other than Swedish meatballs.
Or you know what they could have done? They could have just sent you all the ingredients and been like, make your own pizza.
Yeah, we should be on their marketing team. That's a really good assemble it yourself pizza. The only problem is nobody would be able to make it. Who has a pizza oven at home?
Also, at the end of it, you'll be left with like a topping, and you'll be like, where does this go? One extra olive.
Yeah, there's always an L-shaped bracket that's supposed to be somewhere, but
I think they put it in just to mess with you. And like, at the end of it, you're just scared that something is going to fall apart.
maybe it's a redundancy. Who knows? Okay, that was a great question. Moving on to something that's so very not related to marketing or pizza. This is a fill in the blank kind of question. So, blank was an ancient unit of weight introduced in Mesopotamia around the end of the 4th millennium BC. It was standardized during the Akkadian Sumerian period in the late 3rd millennium BC. And this unit was divided into 60 minas, which was further divided into 60 shekels. That name still is, I think, used as in Israel and a few places. That name is still there. So you can see the impact of that 4,000, 5,000 years ago.
Right.
This system of weights was adopted by later civilizations, including Babylonians, Sumerians, Phoenicians, and Hebrews. So my question is, what was the original ancient unit of weight? What is the name that I'm looking for?
Is it by any chance stone?
Oh, no. I can see where you got that, but no, this has got nothing to do with the British, yeah. For those who don't know, stone is a very weird measurement of weight used in the British Isles and nowhere else, as far as I know. It's a ridiculous one.
Weight measuring unit. No idea. Any hint?
It's a unit of weight, but as you can also tell from the division into minas and shekels, it was also used for certain types of currency.
Is it pound?
No, it's not pound. Yeah, okay, it's not pound.
Okay.
But yes, you get the idea, but it's something completely unrelated. So, which is why. So, the first time I heard this was when I heard, I think, the first badass story about this famous historical figure in which this featured very prominently.
Badass story about a historical figure, not a mythological figure, right? Like somebody from history.
Oh, no. Very, very, very historical figure. And it's a badass story. I mean, like, it's like their origin story.
I'm going to say...
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking Roman then, because I'm thinking Caesar suddenly.
Okay.
And this was when he was kidnapped by a bunch of pirates. And they asked for ransom, and he was offended at the amount being too low.
Yes.
And he said, you should ask the Republic for more money because I'm a very important person.
Yeah.
And whatever, they paid the ransom, he was set free, and eventually he came back and destroyed the pirates.
He didn't just destroy them. He raised a fleet, tracked them down, and then had them all crucified. Like literal crucifixion, not the metaphorical kind.
Quite the Kaiser Soze of his time.
So when the pirates asked for the ransom, they specifically asked for 20 of these. And he was like, are you kidding me? I'm worth much more than that. You should ask for 50.
20 gobbledykes. No, I have no idea. This is the only part of the story that I have conveniently forgot because I remember the other details.
The word that I'm looking for, or the name for this system of measurement or this particular measure of weight, now today has a completely different meaning. It's a very commonly used word in the modern day lexicon, and it has a completely different meaning, even though the word in its current form owes its origin to an ancient Greek word meaning a scale, a unit of weight, or a sum of money.
Maybe telling me what the new meaning is might help. I don't know.
Oh, the new meaning would be kind of a giveaway.
Well, then give it away, Vineet. Like, stop holding it to yourself.
Okay, I would say aptitude or skill would be the current day meaning. Sometimes you have a natural...
Knack for it?
No.
Not a knack. Flair.
Okay, so there's another more risque meaning when it comes to British English. So you may also use this term, especially in English slang. It can also be used to refer to people who you regard as sexually attractive or can be prospective sexual partners.
In British slang.
Yes, in British English slang, especially in the British Isles.
Oh God, I can't believe it. I'm thinking of the one time I have ever indulged in reality TV show, and I am pretentious enough to think of myself as being above it. But a friend of mine showed me Too Hot to Handle. And I remember they kept talking about banter and how you need to have banter with a person to be able to be attracted to them. But I don't think that's what you're looking for.
No.
Okay.
No.
That's my pop culture recommendation if you ask me for a guilty pleasure.
Oh God,
Season
no.
1. Okay. It means aptitude. It also could refer to somebody you find attractive in British English.
Aptitude or skill, I think, would be a better.
Skill.
Skill, aptitude, skill, natural aptitude.
Knack. Oh, why is knack stuck in my head now?
Okay, that term also is used in show business to refer to certain people.
Like a professional term? Is it like a professional designation?
Yeah, it's a professional term. It's a professional term.
Oh.
Especially in the context of agents.
What? An agent?
I've twisted this question all the way around you like a big python.
Yeah, my God.
Yeah.
An agent in show business? Thinking of Entourage and Ari Gold.
Would definitely use this term.
Oh, the agent would use the term, not used for an agent.
So the agents, they go around and signing new
Talents.
Very nice.
Is the word talent?
Yes, the word is talent.
Come on. I would have never thought of that as a measurement unit. Wow. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So let me bring all of this and all the clues together.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Which British slang says talent if you like someone?
No. So not if you like someone.
Where are you hearing this British slang?
So say, for example, he's going out to the club. He's hunting for new talent.
What British TV are you watching?
It's a thing.
Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah,
I'll take
you don't want to
know.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so let me bring it all back together. Talent was an ancient unit of weight introduced in Mesopotamia. It was standardized by the Akkadians and the Sumerians. It was divided into 60 minas, which were further divided into 60 shekels. And this system of weights was adopted by later civilizations, including the Babylonians, the Phoenicians, the Hebrews. That system of weight further gave rise to certain words in Greek. I think it was called talentos or talenta, which then came into English and Old French, and then it changed meaning to aptitude or skill. It was also a measure of some form of currency in the Roman times. So when Julius Caesar was kidnapped by pirates at the age of 25, they asked for 20 talents as ransom. So that's the first time I ever heard about this. The talent today means a kind of aptitude or skill. Agents usually refer to their clients as their talent, especially in show business. So it's now all come full circle. Talent is the word that we're looking for. It was originally a system of weights, and now today it means something completely different.
I'm so annoyed because the moment you said talent, I also realized, yes, that is what the currency was in that story. And you know what? I'm just going to say it. Vineet, you're a nerd for remembering that part of the story.
And I wear it proudly.
I'm just annoyed. I should have gotten that.
No, I enjoy it when I'm able to kind of spin clues around you. And there are very few questions where you can give so many different clues from different directions.
That is true.
I'm back, baby. Okay, hit me.
That was a hard-hitting question. I loved it. And since you gave me a question about talent, I'm going to ask you a question about something you are talented in, at least professionally.
Oh God, I hate it when you do this.
This is just fun for me because it tickles my funny bone, pun not intended, and it relates to the field of medicine. Photic sneeze reflex is an inherited and congenital autosomal dominant reflex condition that causes sneezing in response to various stimuli.
Sunlight.
Yeah, sunlight is one of the common ones apparently. And this actually, just a random sidebar. I remember being in Abu Dhabi. We've talked about living in the Middle East, and I remember going to my school in a school bus, and it was an air-conditioned school bus. And as soon as I would step out, I would sneeze like 3-4 times in a row. And I always assumed it was something to do with dust, but it was surprising because it wouldn't happen otherwise. And then I realized only when I read about this particular condition, I thought I figured that might have been the reason, because I was coming out from like an early morning bus. It's a little dark inside, and then you step out, and that's when the sun has come up 20 minutes later. And I used to sneeze 3 times in a row. I remember it was precisely 3 sneezes in a row.
Okay.
I think I have this. In any case, The photic sneeze reflex is also called the DASH syndrome, which is a contrived acronym. Can you take a guess as to what the dash is in the DASH syndrome?
I'm going to wind the clock back to, I think, 2016,
Okay.
when I was the quizmaster for the Father Muller Medical College Arts Festival.
Mm-hmm.
Since all the students who came for the quiz were MBBS medical students, there were a few questions I peppered in, which were just fun for, fun's sake. And one of them was this. I remember the acronym. When you said photic sneeze reflex, it didn't click. But when you started describing it, immediately click. What you're talking about is the Achoo syndrome.
Ah, very nice. Very, very nice. Yes, it is the Achoo syndrome. Do you remember the full form of the Achoo syndrome?
No, I don't remember it completely, but I remember Achoo. It's not something you forget. And I remember that same thing. You go out in sunlight and you start sneezing, especially when you move from dark to sunlight or sunlight to dark. That's when you start sneezing. So I remember that.
Okay.
Helio-ophthalmic something it is. It's autosomal. Okay.
I'll give it to you. You got 3 words out of the 5.
Yeah.
So it's autosomal dominant, which is the A, compelling C, helio H, ophthalmic O, and the last O is outburst.
Outburst, yes. Okay, yeah.
Autosomal dominant, compelling, helio, ophthalmic, outburst, also known as the Achoo syndrome or the photic sneeze reflex.
That was a good walk down memory lane for me. I was going back through some of those quizzing PPTs because to present the quiz I'd made PowerPoint presentations. When we started the podcast, I'd gone back through some of those and I was like, okay, maybe I should recycle some of those questions. Then it just turns out that my sensibilities have changed. So I had to leave many of those questions on the cutting floor. But this I remember was, I was like, no, I can't ask Aditya this. This is something that you would ask an MBBS student. Like they would get a kick out of this. You ask a regular person, they'll be like, what are you talking about?
I think Achoo is a fine question to ask, even if you don't know the full form.
Yeah.
Still a fun piece of trivia to know.
Okay. That was a great question, by the way. And I am now going to ask you a list adjacent question. So I'm going to give you an exhaustive chronological list, but I want to leave out the last entry on that list. I need you to tell me what the last entry is.
Okay.
So the list goes as follows. Remember, this is exhaustive and this is in chronological order.
Okay.
Lee Marvin, Jim Brown, Robert Duvall, Peter Coyote, Mel Gibson, Jason Statham. I need you to tell me the next name on the list. Lee Marvin, Jim Brown, Robert Duvall, Peter Coyote, Mel Gibson, Jason Statham.
There are some names I recognize, some of them I don't. Jim Brown doesn't ring a bell.
He was an actor, but he was more famous as a professional football player.
Jason Statham had a sporting career also before acting.
No, this is not sports related.
Oh, okay.
I'll give you some years in association. So Lee Marvin is 1967.
Okay.
Jim Brown is 1968. Robert Duvall is 1973. Peter Coyote was 1983. Mel Gibson was 1999. Jason Statham was 2013. And I'll give you the year for the last entry, the one that you have to tell me. The year is 2025.
Mel Gibson, you said 1999.
Yes, 1999.
Is that Braveheart year?
No, Braveheart was earlier than that. Braveheart is 94 or 95, something like that, right?
Not anything to do with that. Jason Statham, 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no clue. Is this film related? Is it related to the film career or is it something outside?
It's film related. So all of them are actors, right? So all of them have acting as.
But is it related to the film career?
No. If I were to rephrase this question or put this question a different way, I would probably ask you, Lee Marvin, Jim Brown, Peter Coyote, Robert Duvall, Mel Gibson, and Jason Statham have all played the same character. Who is the latest person to play that same character in 2025?
Mel Gibson played him in 99 and Statham played him in 2013.
Yes.
Some sort of a real character that they have played? Or
No, they've played a fictional character.
As a fictional character that has been played so many times.
Yes.
This has to be, though, a different source material. It can't obviously be a film that is remade. This is either a comic book character or some fictional work.
2013 Jason Statham movie would give you the name of the character because it's an eponymous movie. The name of the movie is the name of the character. Have you seen the show Leverage?
No, I've not.
There's a female character there who's a little bit of a sociopath in the beginning of the show who is a thief. She is given the same name as this character. And I've always thought that, that was kind of an homage without being an homage. Because the character that they're all playing is a thief.
I have no idea what character this is.
Okay, so I will tell you that the last name on the list, the person who's played this character, is from a 2025 Shane Black directorial.
Ooh, it's a director I like. Shane Black has done what recently though? Is it already out?
It's already out. It's part of my pop culture recommendation. It's not a great one, but it's an introduction into the character, which I think would allow people to explore other versions of them. Mel Gibson's version is probably the best, in my opinion.
Okay, no, I have no idea.
Okay, so the answer that I was looking for was Parker.
Okay, never heard of this guy.
Oh, okay. So there was literally a Jason Statham movie called Parker in which he played the character Parker in 2013. In 2025, the new Mark Wahlberg movie, the name I was looking for was Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg is the latest actor to play Parker in this movie called Play Dirty, directed by Shane Black. And this deviates from the previous Parker movies because this is an original story based on the character, while all the others have been adaptations of the novel.
Okay.
This is also part of my pop culture recommendation. Definitely watch Play Dirty. It's an introduction into the character. And then I would suggest you go and watch Payback by Mel Gibson, where he plays a better version of the character, I feel, and so focused on a very particular novel.
Okay.
Parker is a thief. He has a code. He's ruthless. He's an anti-hero. And I really enjoy the character. So go check out Parker.
Okay.
It's a fictional character created by the author Donald Westlake, who was writing under the pseudonym Richard Stark. He has written, I think, around 28, 30 something novels on this character. He's a robber specializing in large-scale, high-profit crimes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he also does revenge very well.
Okay. Interesting.
Payback was very famous because the original director, I don't remember his name, the original director left the film after a lot of the shooting was done.
Okay.
And then somebody else came in and finished the movie. And then when around 2006, 2007, they released a director's cut version of the original director's vision of that same movie. Those two versions are like completely different. Like basically it's the same movie, but they're like very completely different entities. So you can all definitely watch the same movie twice. You can watch Payback and you can watch Payback the director's cut.
Perfect. So something from the pop culture space for me to check out, and a pop culture recommendation for our listeners as well. And since we are in the entertainment space, I'm going to take you to another American icon in the entertainment space. And this guy's first name, I'll give you his first name, and the last name will also be the answer. So Jack Dash was an American artist who was behind some of the most iconic techniques used in filmmaking. He is credited with developing a unique method for performing something in a movie's post-production, right? Some aspect of a movie's post-production. He developed a very unique method of doing it. So his techniques in filmmaking are considered revolutionary and pretty much like the forefather of that particular aspect of filmmaking. Jack, and Dash is his last name. He worked on pictures all the way from Melody of Love, which is a 1928, one of the early talkies, to Spartacus. I think one of his last films was Spartacus in 1960. So a pretty long and storied career. Can you tell me what is Jack's last name, which is today become a common noun used in the filmmaking space?
Nothing comes to mind immediately. I am reminded of the novel Fight Club, in which there are a lot of internal dialogues with Jack associated with him.
First name is not relevant to the word in use today. Is the last name in question. Jack Dash, as I mentioned, his last name is what we still use in filmmaking pretty commonly.
And it's something to do with post-production.
Yes, it is specifically post-production. For anybody who's not familiar, filmmaking is divided into three broad steps: pre-production, production, post-production. Pre-production is everything you do before you start shooting. Production is when you're shooting, and post-production is after you shoot, so editing and yada yada.
So something in post-production. Was he an editor?
Yes, a type of editor, I would say. So not he was not cutting scenes and not that kind of an editor. So not editor in the way you are thinking.
No, because I was thinking maybe his name is Splice. Jack Splice.
That'd be kind of cool, yeah. But no, his name actually gave rise to, like I said, it's a commonly used noun to describe artists who still work in that particular field.
Foley.
Wow, Vineet, what's up? This break has really gotten something out of you. You are destroying my questions.
Okay, yeah, that's a Foley artist. These are the guys who make the noises that you hear. Sound, it's part of sound design and sound production.
One of my favorite things to do is go to YouTube and just watch Foley artists at work.
Oh, they're brilliant.
And they are doing some insane things when they are coming up with the sounds for whatever is happening on screen. So, okay, for anybody who is not familiar, a Foley artist is somebody who, in the post-production of the film, once the film is made, looks at the film, and usually when they record a film, it's done very silently or as silently as it can be done. And then they'll add the ambient sound. So even if they want to add traffic sounds, they'll add it later. If they want to add like crowd chatter, they'll add it later. If they want to add applause, they'll add it later. So all of those things, sometimes they have stock sounds. But what about like a sound like somebody's guts being stabbed, right? Like it's difficult to have a real version of that.
Or a creaking door.
Creaking doors, footsteps. Very interesting how they try to get the footstep right. And very often, yeah, you can use stock sounds, but they'll go out and they'll try to recreate what this character in that space would have sounded like. I heard somewhere that they pay attention to something as simple as if you're in a lawyer's office, you're sitting on a sofa, and when you get up, what kind of a sofa would it be? Would it be like a strip mall lawyer? And is it a cheap sofa or is it a very expensive high-end
leather sofa? Yeah.
So the way that you'd get up, like it's those things that you perhaps don't consciously register, but subconsciously they do kind of affect the experience. And Foley artists are to be credited with creating that complete environment that you can immerse yourself in as an audience.
And famously lightsaber sounds.
All of Star Wars, honestly.
All of Star Wars, yeah.
Chewbacca's voice or lightsaber or the TIE fighters.
The turbo lift sounds on the Enterprise in Star Trek.
The blaster sound is apparently was made by whoever the artist was for Star Wars who did it. And he's also considered pretty iconic. I'm so sorry, I'm forgetting his name. He was traveling somewhere and he always used to carry his recorder everywhere with him. And I don't know if he did it accidentally or he was just fooling around, but he took a piece of stone and he threw it at one of those high voltage cables that transmit electricity. And if you throw something like a stone or a hard object at it, it makes a buzz sound, which would be the blaster sound that comes from Han Solo's blaster.
Yeah.
So that's where that sound came from. So he recreated it later for the film. But yeah, he was sold on that. So all these sounds that are so iconic that people come up with. I think Chewbacca is like a whale sound and an otter and like an elephant. I don't even know. But like a bunch of these sounds just layered over each other.
Similarly, Johnny Weissmuller's Tarzan call, like, no, that was not human. That was like 5 different animal voices and things mixed together. Again, I think made.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
The 1930s. So Johnny Weissmuller was an Olympic swimmer.
Yeah.
Who was chosen to play Tarzan because of his physique. So he was, I think, the first and most famous Tarzan. And for his movies, they created a very particular sound for the Tarzan call. And that was mixed together with multiple different sounds. I don't remember what it is, but I remember reading about this famous sound effect, which was basically created by recording 2 turtles having sex. I'm trying to remember what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this sounds familiar. I was not sure what sound it is. But it's very, very cool when you figure out. And IMDb trivia page is one of my favorite pages to go to just for this kind of trivia, where they'll tell you how they came up with random different sound effects. So Foley artists are the ones who are doing it. And the punching sound and stabbing sound, all of those things, like they'll be holding a piece of meat and they'll be hitting it.
Punching it, yeah.
Breaking bones, celery sticks are a Foley artist's best friend, because a breaking of a bone sounds convincing when you do it with a celery stick.
Crisp sound you get in.
The exact sound that you need.
Yeah.
The celery stick. So it's pretty insane, and they are very, very good at. I mean, obviously, they are the sense of hearing is much more refined than a regular person, and that's what actually gives them the talent for this. So Jack Donovan Foley, was an American sound effects artist.
Oh, nice.
And he developed many of the sound effect techniques used in filmmaking till date. And he's credited with designing this unique method for performing sound effects live and in synchrony with the picture during a film's post-production. Individuals who still do this are called Foley artists. And I'd heard the word Foley artists. I should have connected it, but I didn't realize that it's by this guy. And Spartacus, one of the greatest films back when it was made, one of the most high-budget films of its time.
Yes.
That was his last film, so he went out with
with a bang.
Pun intended bang, yes.
Okay, that was a great question. Staying with the kind of theme of pop culture and movies and books, and this is a question which it was right up your alley, Aditya. You would love this question.
Okay.
Why is a short novel parodying the famous fantasy series Z? Why is a short novel parodying the famous fantasy series Z? Written by Henry N. Beard and Douglas C. Kenny, co-founders of National Lampoon, this work mirrors the structure of the series Z, including its preface, prologue, poems, and song, while turning solemn themes into comedic absurdity. For example, one line in the book reads, "He would have finished him off then and there, but pity stayed his hand. It's a pity I've run out of bullets," he thought, as he went back up the tunnel. Character and place names are also humorously twisted using brand names such as Maxi and Pepsi. So I want you to identify the fantasy series, which is fairly easy. And then I want you to see if you can guess the name of the short novel that is parodying this famous fantasy series.
Okay.
And that is right up your alley.
Fantasy series, but you said it has songs in it, this fantasy series. That's what they were parodying.
Yes. That's the giveaway.
Yeah, because I don't think Lord of the Rings has songs in it.
Oh, it does.
It does? Lord of the Rings has songs in it?
The book has songs in it. Song lyrics, basically.
Oh.
If I remember correctly, the songs about Moria, the songs that the elves sing when what's his name? Frodo and Pippin and Sam and Merry are going to the Prancing Pony, they encounter a series of elves who are walking and traveling, and you hear them singing. So the lyrics and all those things are given. So basically, there are songs and song lyrics and poems in The Lord of the Rings.
I just know the idea of a song in LOTR is and I've just Googled this, is the great music or the great song, which is apparently how the world in LOTR was created.
Eluvitar.
The
world of The Lord of the Rings was sung into existence.
And I think the one, whatever your devil equivalent was the one who was singing in a discordant tone, or was not?
Yeah. So, no, that was not Morgoth. It was somebody before Morgoth. Yeah.
Just like I didn't want to embarrass myself with the blaster trivia, I'm not going to do that with LOTR either. Not the fans I want to piss off. Okay, then it must be LOTR. Then that was the fantasy novel that they were parodying.
It is The Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Do you know who, by the way, just as an aside, because I mentioned it in the question, character and place names were twisted and replaced with brand names such as Maxi and Pepsi. Can you guess who they were instead named for in the novel?
Oh, okay, so Maxi's not the original character.
So because of the brand name, Maxi and Pepsi.
Maxi is the brand name. Got it.
Yeah.
Something with M. Pippin and Merry.
Meriadoc and Pippin, yes.
Merry and Pippin. Okay, Maxi and Pepsi.
So this is the easy part. You have identified that it is Lord of the Rings. Now you have to identify the name of the novel that parodies this. And as I said, it's right up your alley.
This is some pun on Lord of the Rings.
Yes, it is a pun.
Oh, I know, it is Arundhati Roy. Yeah, the god of small things. Lord of the Rings, god of small things, no?
Oh, no. I don't agree with Arundhati Roy on a lot of her personal opinions. The God of Small Things is a blisteringly good novel.
It's a great novel. I've read it and I loved it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, very few writers are able to make me smell or feel the smell and feel and hear and, very evocative writing.
No, it's a great. I read many years ago. I should revisit it, but it's a great book. Yeah. Okay, but I thought that was hilarious. By the way, God, small things, Lord, rings, but fine. If you don't want to give it to me, I will find another pun there. Is it something that rhymes with Lord of the Rings? I'm going to assume it rhymes with Lord of the Rings.
Yes, it rhymes with. It's a pun.
Pun. How do we pun on Lord of the Rings? No, this is a way too wide a scope. I need to narrow it down further.
Okay, so this parody was an early example of postmodern humor, and it took a literary classic and used collegiate wit and irreverence.
Okay. That doesn't help me.
Okay, let me put it this way. You're a pun master, if I do say so myself.
Okay.
Say, for example, you were partnered with somebody who was a fanatic about Lord of the Rings and who spoke about Lord of the Rings every 10 minutes. I don't do that, but assume I did.
Okay.
So if I were to do that, you probably would come back with, oh, come on, you always talk about the Lord of the Rings. I am so...
done with you. Lord of the boring things. Lord of the...
Oh, very close. Very close. Very close.
Lord of the boring things?
No. You're in the ballpark. You just have to enter the park now and stand at the batter's mound.
Lord of the onion rings. No. Okay.
So you would be saying it. So you'd be like, I'm...
Right. Oh, am I bored of the things? Bored of the rings?
Yes, it's Bored of the Rings.
Oh, I love it. Very nice. Bored of the Rings. Very cool.
Bored of the Rings. Putting it all together, Bored of the Rings in 1969 was a parody of J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. It was written for the Harvard Lampoon, and it was an early example of literary parody. It directly lampooned the tropes of fantasy fiction, and instead of noble quests and epic battles, it was replaced with the slapstick humor, product placement, and cynical one-liners. The line that we had talked about, that I had quoted in the question, he would have finished him off then and there, but pity stayed his hand. Now, there's a very famous sequence in The Lord of the Rings, which actually dates back to The Hobbit. It's actually linked to The Hobbit, the original novel of The Hobbit, where while on his quest with the dwarves, Bilbo Baggins encounters Gollum. And he finds him to be a pitiable creature. He takes the ring from Gollum, and instead of killing Gollum, he lets him go out of pity. Now, that's a very big point, because that's how the ring comes to Bilbo, and that's why probably it didn't affect him as most of the other people who have used the ring. So there is a very big trope throughout the novel about how Bilbo showed pity, and how pity is how that pity eventually led Gollum to still being alive while Frodo had to carry the ring. And then when Frodo went to Mount Doom with it, it was actually Gollum, spoiler alert by the way, who falls into the depths of Mount Doom with the ring. So now that wouldn't have happened if Gollum was not there, if pity had not stayed his hand. So that's a very famous trope in the novel, and this is how they have changed it. He would have finished him off then and there, but pity stayed his hand. It's a pity I've run out of bullets, he thought, as he went back up the tunnel. Yeah, so that's Bored of the Rings.
Wow, okay, I have a pretty contrived segue. But speaking of recreating things, as Bored of the Rings did,
okay.
The rings that are made out of metal, I guess. I'm going to talk about the Nobel Prize medals of two Nobel Prize laureates. The medals of the Germans, Max von Laue and James Franck, Max von Laue won it in 1914, and James Franck won it in 1925. Why were these medals re-awarded to these laureates almost 3-4 decades later in 1952?
Two things come to mind. One possibility was, which is the less likely one, but because you mentioned 1914, was it that it wasn't pure gold because of some kind of shortage during the World War One? Less likely to be the World War, or like a war scarcity, because of the fact that you said 25. So that's not it. The second would be that Nazis confiscated their medals, and I think they did that for a lot of the laureates or something.
It's great because it's almost a blend of those two things.
Oh, okay.
It has something to do with the gold of the medals, and it has to do with the Nazi scare in the Second World War and them confiscating stuff.
Were these two gentlemen Jewish? In which case,
Nazis never confiscated their medals.
Okay, the Nazis didn't confiscate their medals.
Yes, and yet these two gentlemen were re-awarded their medals. Their original medals, and I'm going to put that in quotes, but their original medals were given back to them, even though the Nazis never confiscated it in 1952.
So you said 1914 and 1925, 14 and 25, right?
Yeah.
So the Nazis did not confiscate it.
You asked, by the way, both of these were of Jewish descent. Both of them had some
Jewish descent. No, I'm guessing that something to do with World War II. They would have had to hide their gold, or did they? Oh, did they kind of swap their medals to some German officer to gain the ability to leave? Did they bribe a German officer with this?
Oh, that's interesting as well. But no, that's not what happened. I'll give you a little bit more information. So both of these men obviously knew by the time the Nazis were gaining control that they themselves were in danger, but also their medals would be in danger because the German authorities might confiscate it.
Okay.
So they gave it to the Professor Bohr's Institute of Theoretical Physics in Copenhagen, which had been a refuge for German Jewish physicists since 1933. So they gave it to the institute, and by the way, named after Niels Bohr, who himself is also a Nobel Prize laureate.
And an athlete.
And an athlete, you're right, yes. And they were given to that institute. And eventually, when Denmark was also occupied in 1940, Bohr was concerned as like what would happen. And he entrusted George D. Hevesy, who was a Hungarian chemist, also of Jewish origin, and also a 1943 Nobel Prize laureate in chemistry. George D. Hevesy, this is before he won his Nobel Prize, obviously, helped to kind of figure out a solution to this very pressing concern that they had regarding the medals of these two Nobel laureates. And whatever he did eventually led to the Nobel Committee re-awarding the medals in 1952.
Obviously, he didn't melt them down or something, right?
Very interesting. You are actually quite close, yeah.
Did he electroplate it with another metal on top and hide it that way?
Okay, you know what? This is going into the specifics of it, so I won't torture you to that point. But yes, he decided to save it, and there were obviously a few suggestions. And one of the suggestions was to bury the medal. But Bohr did not like the idea because he thought the medal might be unearthed. And because the names of the scientists were on the medals as they are engraved, and sending any gold out of Germany at that point was a pretty serious offense, because I guess they didn't want to send any precious metals out. That meant that the scientists would have been in grave danger. So they didn't want them to know that these medals belonged to the scientists either. And if they buried it or they kept it somewhere and these people discovered it while they were, confiscating stuff left, right, center, that would have led to very serious consequences. So George D. Hevesy decided that he's going to dissolve it.
Aqua Regia,
and that's what he mentioned, that it was exceedingly unreactive and difficult to dissolve as a metal. Because gold doesn't react very easily. So in a solution of aqua regia, there were the metals in their dissolved form waiting till the end of the war. And the Nazis actually tried to search through the institute, but they never found anything because, well, they didn't know what to look for. And eventually, the Nobel Prize Committee, they recast the medals and with the names and whatever the original engravings would have been, and re-awarded it to those two gentlemen. So these two medals were re-awarded to the original winners because it had been sitting. Like, I just love the idea of this mental picture of a bottle or flask or some sort of container in the institute which has this liquid gold inside of it, quite literally, and it's just waiting out the war to go back to its rightful owners so that the Nazis couldn't get their hands on it. And I love that. Yeah.
For those who don't know, aqua regia, which I think translates to royal water, is a combination of two acids, which is concentrated nitric acid and sulfuric acid, I'm guessing.
Mhm.
At least this is what my high school chemistry memory serves me right. And it is one of the few things in the world which can actually dissolve gold. Gold is very stable and it's very inert and usually doesn't dissolve or do anything. So this is one of the few solutions which can actually dissolve gold.
And that's the story behind these two Nobel Prize winners' gold medals.
And that also kind of weirdly gives me a pop culture recommendation. There is a Malayalam movie which is available on, I think it's Hotstar. I don't, quote me on it, but there's a movie by the name of Sukshma Darshini.
Okay.
Let's just say it's Rear Window. It's like Hitchcock's Rear Window. But if the main character, instead of being confined to a wheelchair and convalescing, instead, if it was a nosy Indian woman who's a neighbor, that's what you get with Sukshma Darshini. So yeah, it's a good movie. You can definitely watch it. Aqua Regia. I'm not going to give anything away, but Aqua Regia was a part of the plot.
Oh,
It's a good movie, so you can definitely check it out. Sukshma Darshini.
fun. I'll do. Check it out.
Moving on to the last question in today's episode. It's a very short question, Aditya. A popular drink in Scottish bars is humorously referred to as Adam's Ale. Some columnists have labeled its packaged version as the biggest scam of all time. How do we better know Adam's Ale?
Guinness is not. Guinness is Irish.
Yeah.
Adam's Ale and its packaged version is considered a scam.
Yeah, many critics point out that the packaged version is a scam.
Okay.
You wouldn't consider it a scam in India, but you might consider it a scam in many developed countries.
Scottish, so I have to get that guess out of the way. Is it Scotch?
No, it's not Scotch. No. I think they call it the water of life. There's some very poetic Gaelic way of saying that, but yeah.
Is it an alcoholic drink, by the way? Sorry, I don't know if you mentioned that already.
No, it's a big clue that, but it's not alcoholic.
Is it some sort of like ginger beer, root beer situation?
No.
Packaged version of a non-alcoholic drink, which would be a scam, and it is Scottish in origin.
No, I wouldn't say Scottish in origin. This is the Scottish name for it. Like, this is basically a humorous reference in Scottish bars.
Oh, okay. But the drink itself is not Scottish.
Oh, no, definitely not.
Sorry, could you repeat the specifics of the question again?
Scottish bars, a popular drink, is humorously referred to as Adam's Ale. Some columnists, especially in developed countries, let me add that qualifier, in developed countries have labeled its packaged version as the biggest scam of all time. So how do we better know Adam's Ale?
So then I'm thinking it's some kind of water then. It's some packaged water, Evian or something, like something fancy.
No, it's just plain water.
Plain water?
You've got it. It's plain water. So Adam's Ale is a kind of ironic expression for plain water, going back to the idea that in the time of Adam in the Bible, in Adam and Eve, water was the only drink available, which is pure and natural. And the reason it's considered a scam, so now in places like India, where clean water is not available everywhere, especially not from the tap, packaged water has its uses. It's considered an essential part of life. But in many developed countries, like in the US and many European countries, water from the tap is perfectly drinkable. As far as they're concerned, paying for bottled water is a scam. So many critics have called it a scam and an example of clever marketing, turning a basic necessity into a high profit commodity. So Adam's Ale is a humorous reference to water.
Wouldn't have guessed that, but lovely. I love that it was not Scottish in origin. Which culture do you credit with coming up with water? Okay, lovely.
Before we wind up, let's answer the audience question, shall we? So the audience question was: the Great Hanoi Rat Massacre was an event in 1902 when the French colonial government created a doctrine whereby people would be rewarded for each rat they killed. For proof, they would have to share the tails of the rat. Later, the government saw a lot of rats with no tails, and that's when they realized that the rat catchers would just cut the tails, get the payment, and leave those rats to to live out their lives. So this has led to an economic theory of perverse incentive, which is better known as what? Like there's a name for this particular economic theory, and that dates back to colonial India, and it's named after a particular animal. So, what is the name of the effect? Aditya, do you have any idea?
Is it the cobra? The Indian cobra?
Very good. Yes, so it's called the cobra effect. So, this term originates from a historical anecdote in colonial India where the British government offered a bounty for every dead cobra. The intention was to reduce the cobra population and to prevent all the colonials from dying of snake bites. However, it backfired because instead of reducing the cobra population, people started breeding cobras to kill them and collect the bounty. Desi Jugad. This led to an increase in the cobra population, and the bounty program was eventually scrapped. So, this cobra effect is also known as perverse incentives because the incentive meant to be positive had the opposite negative effect. And this fantastic question was sent to us by fan of the show, Udayon Singh. Thank you, Udayon, for this fantastic question. Keep sending us questions. We will keep including it. No matter how late, it will come up in some episode or the other. So you have to keep listening. And what's our pop culture recommendation, Aditya? What's yours?
My pop culture recommendation is just one film, and that is a film I literally just came back from the theater after watching, and that is Homebound. So it's still very fresh, and I'm hoping that it doesn't change. My opinion doesn't change tomorrow morning. But yes, it was. Neeraj Gaiwan has never disappointed. Like Masan is still one of my absolute favorite Hindi films. So Homebound does a similar job in terms of telling you real stories in a way that truly wakens you from your privileged slumber, I guess. And very well acted by Ishan Khatter. I think people keep dissing on a lot of the newcomers at least in Bollywood these days. And Ishan Khatter is one of them who truly deserves all the accolades that come his way. I've seen some of his work, always been very, very good in everything he has done that I have seen. And this one is no exception. Good job by Ishan Khatter, great direction by Neeraj Gaiwan, great cinematography. Just a film that is definitely worth the hype. Go check it out, Homebound.
Great recommendation. I've heard great things about it. I too am. It's on my watch list if I ever get time to go around and actually watch it. So my recommendations, which I've already mentioned today, are Play Dirty, which is a 2025 Shane Black directorial. As usual, it's set during Christmas, and it's based on the character Parker. It's not a great movie, but it's a decent watch. I would actually prefer that you go watch that and use that as your entryway into watching the rest of the other movies which feature Parker, specifically Payback featuring Mel Gibson, which is a 1999 movie. The other pop culture recommendation that I've mentioned is Sukshma Darshini, which is a thriller, a crime thriller. So those are two of my pop culture recommendations. One more recommendation I would do is by the time we are recording this is already out of theaters, but it'll probably be on OTT soon, and I strongly recommend that you go watch it. Is Loka, which is a female superhero movie from Malayalam, which has made great waves. It's currently the highest grossing Malayalam film of all time, both inside Kerala, in India, and internationally. It's grossed over 300 crores, and I think it's the one of the highest grossing films in India, which is headlined by a female actor, Kalyani Priyadarshan, daughter of famed director Priyadarshan. It's let's just say, when we say Desi superhero, this is the kind of Desi superhero story that I would like to see. I've already watched the movie twice in theaters. It's a fantastic movie. And banging music by Jakes Bijoy, so you can go listen to the soundtrack on YouTube. So Loka, if you catch it in theaters, good for you. If not, catch it on OTT. It's a fantastic watch. And that's all the time we have for today's episode. Thank you for listening in. We hope you enjoyed the show and learned something new. If you liked what you heard, please consider subscribing to our podcast and leaving us a review on your favorite podcast platform. If you're watching us on YouTube, please hit the like button, share it to your friends, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications whenever we upload a new episode. All of this helps us reach a wider audience, allows more people to discover and enjoy the show. So please do. And if you have time, please spend 2 minutes to leave us a 5-star rating on whichever podcast platform you're listening to us on. We'd also love to hear your suggestions, feedback, and even trivia. You can send us the questions that you want asked on the show, just like Udyan Sen did. You can send it to us at areyoukquizzingme@gmail.com with the name of the quizmaster in the subject line, so only that person would end up opening the question and seeing it. The other person would be completely blind of the question. You can also reach us on Instagram at @areyoukquizzingme. We have a Reddit subreddit, a community, r/areyoukquizzingme, where you can get together with other fans of the show and discuss and crib about our irregular posting schedules. We also appreciate your support and look forward to sharing more episodes with you in the future. Thanks again for tuning in. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week for episode 118.
See you guys next week.
Bye-bye. Uh-huh. 2 minutes. We'll just mention and go ahead.